The original idea for Story Prints came from, I had watched a lot of fantasy movies and I wasn't really happy with the results of a lot of the stories in those, so for a while I was gathering research from fantasy movies, but then as I went along and I was watching movies, I decided to go more with a revenge story, so I drew more from movies like The Punisher.
The Wanderer is kind of dark, silent in times, and he cares deeply about his son. He misses his wife, and he's infuriated by the people who had betrayed him, and whoever gets in his way toward his goal, he slays them.
My character is the human, and she is very fierce and brutal.
My character is Singh. He was underutilized by the first king, mostly because he's a torturer and he likes to play with people's minds and use potions and powders and things to break people down. And so the king didn't like that. But Hoffman, he's weird, and so he's okay with stuff like that. In fact, he kind of encourages it.
My character's name is Waker. He's a wannabe actor, which is not very good. And he gets lost by his friends, or his friends leave him, and the whole movie he's trying to find out what happened to his friends. And he meets some pretty cool, mysterious people along the way.
My favorite part about working on this movie were the tights. They were awesome. And by that I mean no. I'd have to say, like, I guess my scenes with Depardieu, like, I don't know, we had this really cool chemistry, especially with our voices, which I thought was interesting. Especially like the way his accent kind of, because it was so good, it made me like want to do my own accent, make it very like singular and absolutely different from other people's.
I believe Bardem has failed, lost, or dead. Likely the latter. That makes our role more crucial than ever. Everything must fall into place.
Our role? I'll let the old king bleed like a stuck pig on the tip of my blade.
If it were only that simple.
Getting to work with other cast members. That's my favorite part. I mean, getting to know the other cast people.
Costume is cool.
So what we're fixing to do is we're fixing to make Bardem's costume.
All right, this is the plan so far. What we're gonna do is we're gonna make a chest piece out of cardboard. And the whole thing is he's gonna be wearing a cape on his back, so you're not gonna see all the mechanics in the back. So that's why we can get away with making such a cheap costume.
Better believe when I go to edit this making of that I'm gonna time lapse this part.
Phase 1 is complete. Now we have gold, gray, and it looks pretty black.
The costumes were very interesting because we were on a budget, so we actually did not spend a whole lot of money on the costumes. Aaron provided a lot of the principal costumes for the characters that we knew that we couldn't just borrow for a day. But then also my mom bought some costumes from like flea markets and thrift stores, and we got a collection of pajamas that some characters wore. And then for the last set of costumes, this is actually where a majority of them came from. I have to thank Dr. Seawright and the MC theater department, because they really provided a lot of the costumes that a lot of the characters wore, and we borrowed those, a lot of Shakespearean garb, and we took them back the next day, and it just worked out great because it really enhanced the overall feel of the movie.
My favorite part of filming would be the actual filming.
3, 2, 1, go!
Hanging out with everybody, you know, just out in the country, hanging out, do our lines. So how does that, what's going on in that scene? Just randomly, when are you waking up? So what's...
Who said you could touch that sword? That's a very special sword. That's my son's sword.
When are you going to wake up? I have to say that was my favorite part.
The locations were very specific because I really wanted to do something different with the locations. I wanted to film at places that we'd really not filmed before, and I wanted to give it a medieval feel, and that's really hard to do in Mississippi. I don't know if you've noticed, but there aren't a whole lot of castles in Mississippi. So my first objective was to find places that we could make look like castles and medieval locations. So I found the Nature Center that's it's in Clinton, and that's a great place to film because it's a lot of woods, but they also had this seating area that just looked like an old amphitheater, so we filmed there. And then we filmed in the Black Box at MC because it's pretty bare, so we made it look like a brothel. And we filmed at the Warren A. Hood Boy Scout Reservation. That was a lot of fun. We took a day trip down there. And the funny thing is, when we got down there, we were filming in the fort, and the sun kept going down, so we actually did not get to use the scene in the context with which it was filmed. We actually turned it into more of a dream scene because we didn't get to finish the sword fight. Because on the way down, we spent so much time filming at the waterfall, the Owens Creek waterfall. It's so beautiful, and we just stopped and probably filmed there for about an hour, hour and a half, and got every single imaginable angle of the waterfall because it was just a brilliant. Turned towards the Clinton Visitor Center, and that was a fun place to shoot. And the shooting there, it was quite noisy though because there's a road that goes right by it, but if you stand in the right place on the building, you can get some really quality audio. It was a very long shoot. I started writing this movie actually during the summertime, the earliest outlines and everything, and date back to the summertime, and I think I had the first script done by about August, but you know, I had a friend come in and help me write the script. He helped me rewrite about half of it, and then we started filming in November 11th, and I'd say we filmed in November, we filmed in December, we filmed in January, we filmed in February, we even filmed a little bit in March, so we're finally coming to a close in March. In December, we've never done this before. We went out to my farm and we spent the night, and we woke up the next morning after a night of rehearsal, and we woke up the next morning and we filmed all day. We filmed from sunrise to sunset, and that was a very long shoot, but it was a lot of fun, and it really gave the actors time to learn their lines and get into character, and we just took our time on that day. And then another interesting location we would shoot at that had interesting shoot days there was we shot at the Barnett Reservoir Botanical Garden Trail, and the first scene that we shot there was with Faith, and it went perfectly. The weather was wonderful, and we went there and filmed, and then we left. And then after that, the next time we came back for a sword fight, and it was in the pouring rain. And it took 3 hours to film the climactic sword fight between Aaron and Derek, and it was 3 hours in the rain, and it was a miserable shoot, but the scene turned out amazing, so that was worth it. And then the next time we filmed there, it was in the freezing cold with Dexter Brown, and it was still fun, but what was funny is we were using prop masks that I had in my trunk, like ski masks from like superhero movies. We were putting those on so we wouldn't be as cold, and it's really funny because we looked like a bunch of hoodlums going into the woods to film the movie. And then the last day we filmed there was awful, and we got killed by mosquitoes. My back looked like a pepperoni pizza after we got done filming. It was horrible.
There was a plague of mosquitoes that attacked me and everyone else, and if you look close enough, it was not that difficult to see, but you see little blips or something around those are mosquitoes attacking us, and we're always trying to swat away. And
the most fun part about the movie was actually not the actual filming, but the expansion, where you get to go back and add more scenes. That's always the most fun to me because you can tweak it, and the thing is, you don't have really the burden of, you know, telling the story on your shoulders. You just have the joy of making it even more accessible for your audience. So stuff that you might not have got right the first time, you get to go back and work on, and you get to add more scenes with more characters and make the story make more sense. But I always have the most fun with the reshoots because it feels like shooting a little short film, you know, just combining it with what you already have.
There was a shot where my brother did not press record on the audio, so that whole scene did not have sound. So
my favorite story from the set had to be, it was at Crossroads outside, and we had these, I don't know, 15 foot, 10 feet PVC pipes.
We also had the Reservoir firefighters come and help us when me and Derek did our sword fighting scene, and they were all excited about it and everything. And first it was 2, and like 3 or 4 more came back, and they helped us with lines and handed us our sword whenever we needed them, and watched over our stuff whenever we were wandering away from the tent where the rest of our stuff was. And
It was actually not as stressful as the past movies.
The director cast his own girlfriend to play the whore, so.
I think it's going to turn out great. It was a great plot, a great story.
see, it already, the trailer is kind of already blew me away. Yeah, the trailer looks good, and everyone did a good job, so I think it'll be good.
I think this will be our best movie. I think we put the most work into this movie, so I think this was my favorite.
It's a movie. It's not. It's kind of hard to explain, but like whenever you have a 20-minute short, you kind of expect a certain quality, and you get that certain quality most of the time. But whenever you have a movie length, like a feature-length movie, like you expect a different quality, and I think in this movie you're actually gonna get it.
The scene with Alister Hinkley had to be reshot with David Shoemaker as Waker and Evan Brown as Alister, but it originally was shot with Jonathan Henderson as Waker and Jacob Alford as Alister, but it had to be redone because of some scheduling mishaps. But this original scene, it's pretty good in itself, but if you'll take note, the sun just gets progressively lower and lower and lower. But this hopefully will give you a taste of what the movie will kind of be like, but better. So.
Good day, sir. Oh, hello. Can I have a seat here next to the fire? My name is Benjamin Waker, and my theater troupe has been in these woods. Maybe they passed by a few days ago.
An actor.
Of sorts. What's your name?
Alister Hinkley.
Well, what brings you out here?
Hunting season.
Ah, a hunter. What do you hunt?
Anything I can catch, really.
You go to the theater much?
No, I read though. Tragedies and such.
Well, our theater is comedy based. But I think I need to get back to them.
You can stay. You can stay with me. I can't let you leave. Don't you see? Don't you see it? They're hurting. Everyone. The children. I wanted to let them leave, but I just couldn't. I could save you. I could make you not hurt anymore. The woods, they want us to stay here forever.
The woods will do for you, Hinkley.